Minnesota's top political leaders met face-to-face today for the first time since the election.
They're pledging cooperation, not division. Re-elected Democratic Governor Mark Dayton hosted the new Republican Speaker of the Minnesota House. It is their first public attempt to share power at the state capitol. Pat Kessler joins us right now. So, Pat, it's only been a couple of weeks since the very harsh 2014 election campaign.
Yeah, it seems like a long time ago, but in fact, after all the harsh things they said about one another, now they're breaking bread together. Republicans and Democrats figuring out where they can agree and where they never will.
Over a luncheon of pork loin and potatoes, the Republican Speaker and Democratic Governor met at the official residence.
It's a little different now with me as Speaker.
The new Republican power player at the table.
We're working for Minnesotans, and I think if we both remember that and we put those folks first, that should help us stay focused on always doing what's right.
Republicans won control of the Minnesota House after losing it 2 years ago. Now Democratic leaders say the GOP needs to prove it can govern.
Once the election's over, people need to pivot, especially leaders, need to pivot to governing.
Senate Majority Leader Tom Bach says he senses a shift in tone of Republican leaders from 2 years ago when state governments shut down in chaos and anger.
There was a pretty serious overreach in 2011, and that's pretty recent history.
Republicans say their top priorities next year will include road and bridge repair, fixing MNsure, the state's health care website, and reforming Minnesota's sex offender treatment programs.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good start, the governor said this week after a divisive election campaign.
Far more constructive and reasoned than some of the comments that were made in the weeks leading up to the election.
Well, here is something that was not on the lunch menu today, the controversial Senate office building that's now under construction, which Republicans campaigned against. The new House Speaker told us he cannot stop it, but he's looking at the possibility of keeping senators out of it and renting it out to one or more state government agencies. We'll see how that goes over.
Yeah, right. Now besides the Senate's office building, Republicans campaigned on and won other issues. What about those?
Yeah, we heard a lot about that during the campaign. You're not going to see a lot of changes, though. Some Republicans said they want to abolish MNsure. That's not going to happen, and there won't be a repeal of the income tax hike on high earners. And even though they campaigned on it, Speaker Daudt says he has to deal with reality. And the reality at the Capitol right now is that Democrats control the Senate and the governor's office, and they can't change that. So that's what they got to work with over the next 2 years.
Have to try to work together.
They're going to have to try it.
All right. Thanks, Pat.
You bet.